North Korea is undoubtedly the most secretive nation in the world. For over a decade, satellite images have been the only glimpses into its plans, leaving analysts to dissect every frame, searching for answers. The latest images might be the missing piece of a strange puzzle. In late January 2025, new satellite photos revealed a major expansion at Nampho, North Korea's largest port. A new wharf stretches into the river, built rapidly alongside existing docks. Though final touches are still underway, the structure itself is already complete. Nampho has been growing for years, and the country's largest petroleum storage site now holds nearly twice as many fuel tanks as it did a decade ago. Despite heavy sanctions imposed by the United Nations, imports continue, stockpiles rise, and infrastructure expands. North Korea has exceeded the 500,000-barrel cap on petroleum by more than threefold, perhaps even higher. Now it's clear this is not just another upgrade. North Korea is securing what it needs to sustain something bigger, and analysts rush to decipher just what that could be. Nampho Port. Nampho is North Korea's fourth largest city by population. Since the nation's independence in 1948, the area has developed a wide range of industries and significant modern-era redevelopment, particularly on its port. As the nation's key port on the Yellow Sea, Nampho has been central to industrial and maritime operations since the 1970s. Designed after major Chinese ports, it blends strategic advantages with industrial efficiency. Over time, the once humble area has evolved into a multi-purpose hub, handling substantial amounts of oil imports, shipbuilding, and repairs for everything from tiny two-person fishing boats to small warships, serving as a key gateway to China and other parts of Asia. But this setup, more than just convenient, is a calculated move to hide secret military projects within everyday port operations under the cover of routine activity, the latest of which has shocked the world. 2025 expansion. Nampho is home to the country's biggest petroleum storage site, which has been steadily expanding for nearly a decade. In 2016, the facility held 12 fuel tanks. As of 2025, that number has almost doubled to 23, with even more bases under construction. In late January and February, the newest satellite imagery suggests recent additions that could potentially increase the site's capacity to import oil and receive naval vessels. According to an analysis by 38 North, an open-source intelligence platform that relies on commercial satellite imagery, publicly available data, and expert analysis to monitor the latest developments in North Korea, construction has recently finished on 4 tanks for housing petroleum, oil, and lubricants. The think tank believes it's identified 2 bases for another 2 tanks, which have been in construction since late summer of last year, already complete. Other images from that same month reveal more of the nation's latest moves to expand its fuel infrastructure, most notably a brand new wharf at the port's main petroleum import facility, which sits alongside 4 existing wharves. Construction started fast. By December 26th, the wharf bed had already stretched more than 500 feet into the river. By January 6th, it was almost at its full length of nearly 1,000 feet, matching a nearby structure from a few years ago. At the end of the month, the wharf was likely complete, with final touches like paving and erosion control still in the works. These latest additions are a clear sign that the country is ignoring all sanctions. With more storage and a bigger import capacity, the regime is ensuring it has the fuel it needs, whether for its navy, military operations, or whatever it plans to do next. But Nampho's upgrades aren't just about fuel. Alongside its growing petroleum storage and import capacity, new satellite images suggest the most significant shift in North Korea's naval power in decades. North Korea's newest ship. The new images come just a few months after state broadcaster Korean Central Television released photos that confirm the Kim regime has been constructing its largest ever warship at the port. North Korea's Navy, established after the Korean War with Soviet-era and older Chinese ships, has for decades focused on coastal defense rather than projecting power beyond its borders. Lacking experience and interest in blue water operations, the regime primarily safeguards its waters and deters close-range threats by duplicating shipbuilding efforts on both coasts, Nampho in the west and Sinpo in the east. Despite the rapid advancements of global navies, North Korea's fleet has remained largely stagnant, relying on small patrol vessels and outdated Najin-class frigates from the 1970s and limited modernization efforts. North Korea's history of naval development is filled with stalled projects and outdated designs. The Najin-class frigates, its last significant attempt at surface warships, are decades old and lack modern combat capabilities. Even the more recent unmanned corvettes were produced in minimal numbers, showing North Korea struggles to maintain complex naval production lines. However, Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un now appears determined to change that. In the late spring of 2024, satellite imagery once again unveiled a row of massive pillars flanking a slipway at Nampho shipyard. Over the following months, workers added screen walls and a sizable mesh-covered roof, enclosing a vast 560 by 100-foot area. While the lightweight mesh offers little protection from the elements, according to analysts, its real purpose is to conceal whatever is being built beneath. Despite the screening, gaps in the mesh occasionally reveal glimpses of a larger-than-ever warship, especially when sections are temporarily removed to allow cranes access to the construction below. Analysts see two main possibilities. One theory suggests a large missile frigate, a significant step up from the 262-foot MNOC corvettes. The other tells of a new ballistic missile submarine designed to carry the missiles North Korea tested earlier in the year. While this marks significant progress, the ship is likely not close to being finished. As with American and other nations' navies all over the world, the vessel likely still requires extensive outfitting, such as engines, weaponry, electronics, and other critical systems that have yet to be installed. This mystery model will also need thorough testing and inspections, a process that can take considerable time, especially for large military ships or new designs. A show of strength. With a growing fuel supply, expanded shipyards, and a warship under construction, North Korea isn't just preparing for the future. It's slowly but surely making its next move. The most prominent question analysts and other technological enthusiasts are wondering now is how soon the world will see the full picture. The newest petroleum, oil, and lubricant storage tanks suggest that North Korea is preparing to power a larger navy and enhancing its capacity to stockpile this fuel and adjacent materials, a key resource for sustaining long military operations and defying United Nations sanctions. With these upgrades, the nation can accelerate energy imports, bypassing restrictions meant to limit its nuclear and missile programs. In 2023, the country exceeded the 500,000-barrel cap on refined petroleum by more than threefold, and the expanded port infrastructure could allow it to push those numbers even higher. More fuel reserves mean more flexibility, not just for warship operations, but also for the broader military-industrial complex, including ballistic missile launches and nuclear development. With the stockpiling, a larger fleet, especially one with missile-capable warships or submarines, would require significant fuel reserves. Finally, Nampho's dual-use nature allows North Korea to integrate military projects within civilian port operations. The warship's construction isn't happening in isolation. Rather, it's hidden within the broader port activity, making it harder to track and more straightforward to deny. In short, North Korea isn't just expanding Nampho and building a new ship separately, but is apparently making moves to ensure it can sustain a stronger navy. It becomes increasingly evident that whatever is being constructed there isn't just a one-off project, but part of a larger strategy. One factor that could change the game is Russia. In 2023, Kim Jong-un personally toured a Russian naval base, fueling speculation that Moscow may be supplying North Korea with critical shipbuilding expertise or missile technology. If Russia is secretly assisting, it could mean these warships won't just be larger. They could be equipped with far more advanced weapon systems than previously thought. In return for this scientific knowledge, North Korea is believed to be supplying ammunition and even soldiers for Russia's war in Ukraine. This high-stakes military exchange could accelerate both nations' military goals. But not everyone is convinced. According to Joseph Dempsey, a defense and military analysis research associate, while North Korea's navy is long overdue for modernization, the decision to invest in large surface warships remains dubious. The regime has shown little interest in projecting power beyond its own waters, making this expansion less about strategic necessity and more about a show of strength. In an interview, he finished by stating, quote, "Official statements by North Korea in recent years have placed greater emphasis on developing the country's shipbuilding industry in conjunction with strengthening naval forces, including references to procuring larger warships." What comes out of North Korea's secretive shipyards remains to be seen.